number in mind, what an ideal, minutes workload would be for you this season?
48 games. Every coach that I play for want to keep my minutes down. But the game's tight and you're not playing well, it's like you're not going to look over and say, well, I want to keep his minutes down tonight, so you're just going to throw me in the game. Keep playing well, my minutes in the game. If we're not, I got to play more.
48 minutes, all right. Well, we know that probably won't happen every night, but I love the sentiment that KD has there, and he has played in at least 48 minutes 4 times since he joined the Nets. And take a look at the numbers that he put up in those games. 42 points, almost 13 rebounds, 9 assists per game, and that includes 2 games against the Bucks in that epic 2021 Eastern Conference Finals. So he was a bit tongue-in-cheek there, right? But after a disappointing end to last season, the Nets, they need to make changes to be successful this year. So our Nick Friedell suggests just one thing that could help with that: camaraderie. But after a summer of uncertainty, the Nets have a lot of work to do to trust each other.
Talent has never been a problem for this Brooklyn Nets team. They've got plenty of it. With Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they have the kind of top-tier players that every team in the league desires. But after 3 years of the Durant and Irving era, the Nets still haven't been able to put together the right ingredients to reach the top.
It's kind of like a cluster. You know what I mean? Just like all of this.
There have been injuries on the court and distractions off of it. But what the organization has been missing most is a key component that has defined almost every great team in recent NBA history: camaraderie.
This was a season that had so much promise, and it all fell apart.
After getting swept by the Boston Celtics in the first round last season, Nets GM Sean Marks said the organization needed to get its culture back. But less than 2 months later, Durant asked for a trade, Irving thought about leaving, and the Nets appeared to be on the verge of another rebuild. But after a summer of discontent, including Durant reportedly asking for Marks and coach Steve Nash to be fired, the Nets come into the 2022-23 season hoping that time can help cure what ails them.
Regardless of what happened in the summer, I was not going to let it affect the work that needed to be put out on the court.
Durant reversed course and decided to stay. Irving opted into the final year of his contract, and there is hope that after almost a year and a half away from the game, Ben Simmons is ready to play at an all-star level again after off-season back surgery and mental health concerns.
The Nets are a legitimate championship contender as currently constituted.
The Nets are holding on to the dream that a talented roster built around Durant will be able to figure it out, that all the old issues and frustrations of the last 3 seasons can be wiped away with a strong start, that a motivated Irving and refreshed Simmons can find their rhythm together quickly. But it remains to be seen whether the organization can rebuild a foundation and a culture with largely the same cast of characters. The reality for the Nets is that in order to get back on track, they must look within. They have to build up the trust that defines any strong relationship and is the backbone of championship teams. Talent can only take a team so far. In order to be great, the Nets have to learn from their past to propel them in the future.
Back here with Perk and Shanae. So the table is set for Brooklyn to start the season. Perk, the Nets, this is the start to their season. It's against playoff teams. First they play the Pelicans, then they play the Raptors, then they play the Grizzlies, then they play the Mavs, then they play the Bucks. Those are their first 5 games. So to you, what's a successful start to their season?
Well, they got to get off to a great start. And Steve Nash, where you at, brother? This is going to be on you, right? We all keep talking about the time and Ben Simmons, and it's going to take time for them to have chemistry. They don't have any damn time. You know why? Because the East is so stacked up right now. I got Milwaukee ahead of them. I have the Cleveland Cavaliers ahead of them. I have the Celtics and also the Philadelphia 76ers. They have to get off to a good start. I strongly believe this, that Steve Nash is on time. He don't have time. He's on the hot seat. If he don't get them off to a great start and put Ben Simmons in particular in position to be successful so that he can show the best version of himself, then it's going to be hard on Steve Nash. So right now, to the start of the season, I'm putting all this on Steve Nash. We know what Kevin Durant is going to go out there and do. We know what Kyrie is going to go out there and do when he's available. Steve Nash, this is on you.
Perk, why'd you have to start like that? Where he at, though? Where he at, though? I agree. I do agree because you know exactly. I mean, look, we all respect Steve Nash, you know, as basketball players, but also the transition. There was so much change happening. Now you have stability to start the season, right? The world is in more a stable place. You've got Kyrie, you've got KD, and you've incorporated someone to help your defense in Ben Simmons. And so I do think schematically, especially coming out of the gate, those games you mentioned are intense and tough. The teams that I have ahead of them, you've got the Bucks, you've got the Heat, you've got the Celtics, and you got the Sixers. I think if they finish the year and they're top 5 in the East, that's not disrespectful. It just shows that the East is really great. And I feel like, especially come playoff time, if they're top 5, top 4, even top 3, they feel like they're poised to position themselves to win a championship. But it starts with setting the tone. If they lose a couple of those first 5 games, we might be like, oh, see, this is the play-in team. But I do think there is something to a slow burn. The Nets can figure things out and catch fire like anybody else.
Yeah.
I just think, as Perk said, the pressure is really on, and it starts with the coach to help maximize and get Ben Simmons feeling confident about his game.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.